and I am a Curry County Master Gardener volunteer. And today, both myself and Cindy Meyers are going to share the presentation. We're going to share what Master Gardeners do, and we're going to share a little bit about our vision, our future. But before that, I want to start with the current Curry County Master Gardeners, and even some alumni, to have them introduce themselves. So, we'll start with
Jerry Herbage, trainee. I'm getting a treat.
There may be people I don't know who are alumni, so I don't want to pass you over.
Allie Connery. I've been around since 2015, I think.
I'm Debbie Carroll, been a Master Gardener since 2014.
Kelly Jacobson, and I've been a Master Gardener since 2018.
I'm unfortunately a past member, and if I ever get enough time, I will go back and be a member again. But it's a great club.
Well, that just segues right into Cindy introducing herself.
So I became a Master Gardener in 1990, soon after I moved here, and I never did all the volunteer part, so I've gone through the class again, and I am now a freshly minted Master Gardener, as is Jerry, I believe.
We used to not call them trainees, we used to call them apprentices. Then for a while we went through perennials and annuals. But whatever it is, we really appreciate them, and we appreciate being able to help the community. So that brings us up into what do Curry County Master Gardener volunteers do? And primarily, we provide research-based information to the community to help them with their sustainable gardening goals, whether it's growing food, landscaping, eradicating invasives, planting natives, planting pollinator gardens, just having a beautiful garden to surround yourself. That's one of our primary functions, but we also do a lot of other things in the community. We work at school gardens. We want to thank you for your help with Riley Creek in the past. We also work in the school gardens down at Brookings in Kalmiopsis Elementary School, the Little Bear Patch, and also at the Bridge Garden at the high school, which provides food for the cafeteria. Another thing that the Master Gardeners do is to provide plant clinic. There's a plant clinic ongoing right now at the Extension office. And it's really our signature program. It's one of the reasons that we exist, is to be able to help people find an answer to their questions. I did mention that we are volunteers, and that's really a critical component of what the Master Gardener program is. We do not, many of us aren't the best gardeners, actually. And we certainly don't know everything, and we can't really tell you what that yellow flower is in your garden without looking at it. And we're not always sure what's wrong with your lime tree until you send us some pictures or show us some situations. But because we might have a class in mind reading one day, but so far we don't. But we do work with people, often talking to them. You can figure out what that yellow flower might be. So Master Gardener program is a national program, international program actually, and it's associated with universities, land-grant universities. We're associated with the Oregon State University's Extension program. All Master Gardener programs have associations associated with them. And we are 501c3s, and we are primarily there to help Extension. We help with delivering programs. We help with some other functions that universities don't often do, such as fundraising. Well, actually, universities do a lot of fundraising, but they don't fundraise a lot for the Master Gardener program or for the community programs that we put forward. So we do fundraising in the community, mostly with our plant sale. We don't ask the community for money a lot. We primarily fund through the plant sale, although for the next couple of years, that's changing. And we are definitely asking the community for funding. We also help with advocacy. Say there was going to be some sort of ordinance about invasive plants or something, we may or may not want to speak on that before elected officials. And we work on volunteer recruitment and supporting the volunteers, making sure that they feel welcome, making sure that they have a home. You guys feel welcome? Jerry, feel welcome?
Yeah.
Good.
Very much so.
Good. And so we do that because as a volunteer organization, volunteers are key to what we do, and they're key to our programming. So as Rotarians, you totally get that, I'm sure, because that's really, service is what you guys are about. So another thing we do is presentations in the community, educational presentations. Sometimes it's about seed saving at the library. But we don't do nearly enough community education presentations. And the reason is because we don't have a public facility to do it. We don't have a demonstration garden. We don't have a home. And really demonstration gardens are a staple across the state. Many Master Gardener programs have demonstration gardens, demonstration greenhouses. In our community, a greenhouse is very, very important. So why are they so important, having these demonstration gardens? I mean, people learn from hands-on. That's just really pretty basic. You can see a PowerPoint on how to prune a tree. It's not going to be nearly as good as having someone help you prune that tree. You can go into a mature garden and see how a plant will look. When you buy this little plant from the Master Gardener sale, which is really great, really cheap, it's going to grow into something maybe this big. You can see what that plant looks like in a mature garden, what shape it has, what size it has, what color it has, all of those things. And also, these demonstration gardens and these learning activities are a chance to socialize. It's really important in our community of seniors that people have an opportunity to socialize with others. It's really important because we are a community that has a lot of people moving to it, relocating to a rural community when they haven't lived in a rural environment. So not only do they have questions about how to grow in our climate, they have a lot of questions that they don't even know what to ask. And we can help them understand what it's like to live in a rural environment and how to build some local resiliency. Another thing about our community, and I don't think this will shock you, but we have a lot of differing opinions in our community. Yeah, it's shocking, I see over there. But I think when people find common ground, they work together, they learn together, then they become friends, they start to have a better understanding of different points of view. Our community builds resiliency, and maybe it becomes just a little bit more kind. You know, as we work with someone, so you're friends with them, you're just a little bit nicer, and that carries on. So these are all really great reasons for us to have a demonstration garden. And so, there's one more big reason, and that has to do with our organization. We try to reach out and get people to become Master Gardeners, but it's a little difficult since we don't have a place for them to come and visit with us. This year we had 22 people in our class. It's amazing because we did a lot of recruitment last year. Our program assistant, Lori Bartlett, was just really gung-ho on that. But if we had a place where people could come and visit, they would get to meet us. You've probably heard this thing about you don't want to marry your volunteers. You want to date them first, and then you can marry them. But they should get to know each other. We should get to know them. They should get to know us. Also, we find a lot of volunteers don't want to work in school gardens, or they're embarrassed to stand up in front of people and speak. So if they had a garden where they could go and work and speak one-on-one and show how a plant grows, they're much more comfortable with that, so we have volunteer opportunities. And our future home, our vision, our future, is also going to have a lot of adaptability in it, so as people start to age, they can still find volunteer activities. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to offer us better opportunities for our plant sales. Those are our primary fundraiser. That's our primary fundraiser. That's how we offer programming to the community. So if we can improve that, we can offer more programming. So with that, I am going to actually turn it over to Cindy Meyers. She's going to talk a little bit about the current situation, the planning and the research that's gone on since 2016 on this vision for our future, and the timeline and the budget, and then I'll come back and close, and we'll have time for questions.
So the current situation is that we operate mostly out of the greenhouse at Gold Beach High School, and we've been there for many years. The plants are propagated there, cared for, overwintered in that area, and we also have a lot of volunteers with greenhouses that do propagating and raise plants for the sale in their private greenhouses. about half a dozen this year, I think we have. So the Gold Beach High School greenhouse, we love it, but it's getting old. So all of the mechanical systems, some of the watering systems, we actually had a rodent come eat some of our plants this last year. So we've got some issues with it, and we would really like to not only have a more modern place, but a place where we can invite the community in, because at the school, that's not an option, because it's, you know, it's a place for students. And same with Riley Creek Garden. You know, we have a greenhouse there, and it's for the students, and anybody that's had a background check can come, but we can't invite the community in. So this project is going to give us that. Okay, so since 2016, we considered a variety of potential sites across Gold Beach and even across the county, and we've eliminated them one by one. We finally settled on a wonderful site at the event center. So it will be located next to the OSU Extension Building, which has a lot of benefits for us. But I wanted to show you the artist rendition. So I don't know if you guys can see it over there. I guess it's time to pass out the little cards that we have so you have your own copy. So the view that you're seeing here, if you're in the carnival ride area of the fair and you're looking back towards the extension building to the south and the east, that is the view that you have of our vision.
Our future.
Our future, yes. Okay, so we are entering into a lease agreement with the event center. We're working on that with them. Actually, Jerry's been helping us a little bit. The site has the advantage of being located right next to OSU Extension, which provides support and also potential classroom space for our programs. We've identified a teaching greenhouse, which is 400 square feet larger than the greenhouse we have. And we have got a general contractor that's agreed to work with us in town. So they'll be able to work with the subcontractors, and we won't be the ones chasing down all of the details, but our planning group has been meeting every 2 weeks to try to get the budget in place. So the timeline for this is that we hope to have enough funding to break ground and do site preparations before the fair. If we can purchase the greenhouse and assemble it after the fair, then we'll be able to operate in the greenhouse and have our plant sale there next May. We're not quite there as far as being able to do all of that, but I'm going to show you the budget. And so we also, having that second year will allow us to figure out how best to arrange the raised beds and the teaching patio, and potentially we've got a retaining wall that needs to happen there. So we'll be able to figure out all of those details in the second year. So the second year funding will also be important. Let me hand out the budget. Maybe I can get you that one.
Cindy, is this where the food court is right now?
Uh,
When the fair has the food stuff?
No, it's down to the west. It's where the rides are.
Let me see if I don't think I get a duck.
Okay, so this is, it says general budget item on here, and that is because we have a whole page of detailed budget that we didn't want to, have to get you to look at. But you can see that the total price is $144,800. Below that is a list of our secured funding and the foundations that we've received grants from to date. Below that is the applications that we already have out that we're waiting to hear if we're funded, $13,500 for that. And then we have a list of other grants that we want to apply for, and I've also listed that we want to do local fundraisers and individual contributions, hopefully up to 10,000. And so the balance is what we still need for the project, and hopefully some of these grants are going to make that number much smaller. Are there any questions about this budget before I give it to Julia? Yes.
I'm curious what Oregon State University's ability to contribute to something like this is.
That's a good question.
So currently, the extension programs are underfunded. And most of that money, some of it comes from Oregon State University budget, some of it comes from local assessments, and some comes from state legislature funding. And we are working right now with the state legislature to try to get funding for mostly program assistance in other parts of the state that don't have program assistance. So if we were to approach them for funding, they would basically say, as an association, we rely on you to do fundraising for your local extension activities. And they support with providing the educational support and the staffing backup that we need. But at this point, the extension programs are pretty severely underfunded.
So with that in mind, do the extension programs have grant officers working for them?
We do have some grant officers working for them right now. Volunteers, that's considered
Well, I
working.
mean, paid grant staff at OSU.
No, we do not work with grant staff at OSU as a 501c3. Both Cindy and I have extensive grant writing professional experience, so we've been doing
I
that.
get that, I'm making a political critique.
Yeah, okay.
OSU. I mean, it seems to me that they should be contributing more at a larger level of gathering funding and not relying solely on local and legislative efforts. That's just my 2 cents.
Thank you. And so and Brian, you'll be next, but the next time we bring down Dr. Lyle to the area, let's have you guys talk.
Okay.
It's amazing that Jeremy should bring that up. We just had the budget meeting for the extension Monday. And I brought up this issue during the budget meeting. And I got a somewhat verification of the fact that they're going to have fun. But not more money, but I said that, we've got the tourist money coming in here and if you're going to have this open and it becomes a point of interest in Gold Beach that we can use for helping tourism, then there should be some of the tourism money that comes in funded to the greenhouse. So at least the ball is rolling, to put it that way.
Excellent, thank you.
And he said that, I guess he was the guy that runs the 5 counties, I'm trying to remember his name.
Oh, yeah, Wyatt.
He said that he should be able to reallocate some funds, so we'll see.
Oh, well,
Whatever that means.
this is good.
No, I mean, I made a big point of the fact that we need to do something from a county perspective and helping build a better image for the communities and the county. And this is an excellent example of a way to do it, because you have one of the best programs I've ever seen as far as MasterCard is concerned. So we should take a showcase and it should be funded accordingly.
Yeah, that is, I mean, one of the things is that we're a best kept secret because we don't have a public opportunity to showcase what we did. So this is great, and I think we're just going to have to give Wyatt a call, like, on my way out, in the parking lot.
Say that I brought it up with him and that he seemed positive about helping out here and say, Brian said he had a budget meeting with you. And, so go for it.
I will clarify what my thinking is and why I'm saying what I'm saying. It's not real feasible for a small 501c3 in Curry County to go out and apply for large federal block grant funding for things that support healthy eating and food and education in that regard, whereas OSU is a large entity that could facilitate that kind of grant revenue. So that's my point, is that like if they were doing something large for the entire system in the state of Oregon, Curry County could have a piece of that, which could go, I mean, it's not going to fund it entirely, but that's what I'm saying.
Jared, that is,
And you've got about 1.5 less funded headcount right now than you had 4 or
Yeah, I believe so, because most of the,
So,
yeah,
I mean, I brought that up with them. I said, where's that money going?
yeah.
Took it back to the county. There's no reason that that budget shouldn't be applied to making master gardeners more successful.
Yeah, so that's a good point about having it be an OSU program that is statewide and we're a portion of it, because we've looked at a couple of grant opportunities that we do a lot of that activity, but as a volunteer-based organization, we didn't really feel like we were able to make the long-term commitment to fulfill all of that. And so we didn't apply for those grants. At one of the school gardens in Brookings right now, did get an $1,800 grant from OSU's Farm to School Booster. It's an internal OSU program. Just like you're saying, they're putting that money out across the state to various associations that are working in school gardens to help with the farm to school activities. So that's a good point. So that, well, between those two approaches, those are great. That's really great information.
And remember, if you don't speak up, you don't get anything. You got to, demands may be a strong word, but if you don't get your fair share, someone else is going to take it.
So we're not just a little small county that has to do it all by himself at the bottom of Oregon, is that what you're telling us?
But you got to ask for it and you got to make noise.
Yeah, and we have a great plan going on with a great team. Other questions before we kind of close up here? So we are looking for support from the community. I'm sure that I'm not the first person, we're not the first organization that's come to talk about that. And one, we recognize the kind of service that you do in the community. And while I've been cautioned to not say we're going to be doing barn raising type greenhouse raising, because there's very specific things, we are looking for volunteers in the community to help us with a lot of the activities. So part of our budget is built on in-kind volunteer support. That wasn't really noted in here, but we are relying on that, and we would like Rotarians to assist us with some of these activities. We don't quite know what they are. We probably won't even know until September. They'll probably occur in the fall, early spring, but we would be certainly wanting to come back to you for a request for some service activities. And then, of course, we would like you to look at your budget or other opportunities that you might have for providing funding to the greenhouse. In addition to these great suggestions, which now put a little bit of onus on us to go through and follow through with them. We understand that you're looking at next year's budget. We are going to need funds in this year. We're going to need funds next year. So whatever kind of system works great for you, we appreciate any consideration that you can give us for funding. Right now, we're just about poised to go forward with making a commitment on purchasing the greenhouse and getting that work done. We're just waiting for a little bit more money till we feel really comfortable getting money from the community, because we might have to wait a year. We are so close, but yet we are also so cautious. So you'll be hearing more in the next 30 days about whether or not there's going to be groundbreaking.
Okay, just a quick question. So the old greenhouse, what will be the old greenhouse at the high school? What will happen with that?
I wonder if, with the new bond, if they might end up with some other construction activities that mean that, certainly the science teachers have that available to them until it's gone, but they seem to be overwhelmed with what they already have on their plates.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, is there going to be some attempt, do you think, by the school to use her greenhouse?
Yeah, I kind of doubt
Prior
it
to us
unless
using the greenhouse, it was used to store boxes
Oh.
for years and years and years.
Oh, okay.
right.
So I don't know if the school will ask for it back. If they would allow us to continue to do some of our stuff there, we may take that opportunity as well.
Very good.
You said you were close. What is close?
How much money are you?
Well, I'll say that if you add the site prep and the greenhouse purchase together, that's like 77, and we're at 62. We've got 13,000 worth of grants out there that we don't know if we're going to get or not. So that means we're getting real close, but we also have plumbing and electrical, some of which will need to happen at the same time. So I don't know, we don't have a breakdown, I don't think, of which plumbing and which electrical has to happen in the first year and which is the second year, so.
Yeah, there is,
All of it.
yeah, there's some economy of scale of getting it done all at the same time and not having to go back and redo things. So we do have a lot of, some of the grant opportunities that we're looking for have a late summer, early fall submittal or decision point. So as we start to really do most of the work after FAIR has completed this year, we should be having some additional funding come in. But we wanted to make sure that we had really, 75,000 is barely making us feel comfortable to move forward. But on the other hand, it's our vision and our future. So we are committed. I mean, we're working on it and we're optimistic. And now we even have some other opportunities that we had kind of not, I guess we had sort of written off. So we need to write them back up.
You should be hearing from Bott Community Funding.
Excellent.
Oh, that's good, promising, yes.
Anything else?
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.